Welcome. I guess as we're getting started, this is probably also being streamed to twitter.com/Shir Yaakov. If you find that the audio isn't working well for you or you can't hear, you might be able to get better quality there. Yeah, and if you have any questions, you are able at this point to unmute yourselves or put questions in the chat. Good audio test. I actually want to know if we're actually using the right camera, the right audio. Okay, good. Is anyone who is on currently able to just let us know if that came through clearly, sounded distorted at all?
It's a little bit distorted.
It is a little
choppy.
It's choppy, but did it sound like it was coming through too loud and being cut off by the microphone?
No.
Okay. Okay, Stephen can't hear anything at all.
I'm hearing you.
Okay. So Stephen, I think that might be on your end. I'm not sure. Audio is coming through for other folks. Hey Sharon, oh, it's good now, great.
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Hi, Nicole, Jim, Summer, Rosie. Hey Gary and Rochelle. Good.
There's
Hello. Yeah, when you come in, you're muted, and then you have a chance to unmute yourselves. I'm going to mute everyone now. But yeah, you can unmute yourselves if you want to chat, say hello before we get going.
Hi, can you hear us now?
Yeah, we hear you. Hi.
Hi, we're happy to be joining you all.
Yeah, this is great. This is good.
And I'm glad you're doing this in such uncertain times, so thank you.
Absolutely.
Beautiful blessing.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope we have a sense of connection and calm, and gonna let some more people come on in. I'm gonna mute everyone. Everyone, again, you come in muted, but you can unmute yourself if you have a question. I'll be right back.
Good to see everyone's smiling faces.
Yeah, feel free to play
know that we're still out there. So for everybody who just wants to kind of hum along for a little while, and welcome people with our song.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
So far we have 31 people calling in. I'm going to stop the share for a second and move you guys to gallery view so I can see who's here. Wow. I hope everyone is going to just take the technical hiccups or challenges as they come. This is completely experimental. I have 2 microphones here, a computer and a half. We have instruments. This is the room that Renee and I have been rehearsing in, and we're exercising extreme care and concern and caution in doing this social distancing this way. I think if Renee didn't live only 7 miles away, I might have been doing this on my own this weekend, but I'm really glad that we can come together in this way. I'm going to try sharing a slide with you again. Also, I mentioned earlier on before a lot of people came, if the audio is not coming clearly for you clearly through Zoom, because I think they compress the audio, this is also simultaneously being simulcast to Twitter at twitter.com/Shir Yaakov. So if the audio is not coming through well there, it may be better over there. Again, this is all going to be an experiment, and we'll find out afterwards what worked well. I have some slides here for you, like the ones that we often use when we have the projected Siddur, and I tried to make them even a little bit easier to follow this time by color coding them. Transliterations will always appear in white. If you're still working from English characters and not in the Hebrew, you're always going to be looking for the white on the slides. And this H symbol that has, let me see, this H symbol with the like little half smiley face underneath it represents both chet and chaf. So it's always that ch sound like Bach. If you think you can't pronounce it, but you can say Bach's name, you're in the clear. Both translations and singable English will be in green, and the Hebrew will be in blue. I see that there's some things coming through in the chat. Feel free to chat, but it can also, I've turned it off that you can't chat one-on-one with each other. And if there's a chat there that I'm not seeing, please just know that it's because I'm juggling a lot of other technical pieces.
We won't be able to hear you, but please sing along with us.
Yeah, in fact, unfortunately, because the audio is not perfectly in sync, actually trying to hear each other doesn't work. But like Renee said, please do sing with us.
We can feel it.
So I first want us to arrive in our bodies at this place, this time together, and really try to let go to whatever extent is possible of your personal story. Whatever it took for us each as individuals to come together, to just thank the body, thank the heart, mind, and soul that coordinated all of this magic somewhat miraculously. Just be in the ordinary consciousness of this moment. And recognize that all life is connected. This image, I don't think we've really received the revelation of this image, the fact that we live on this one planet, this one living organism, this one cell all together. The weather, the tides, no national or international boundaries. We're all breathing the same air, same water, earth and fire, all of the elements. So, I'm not sure how well you can see all this, but I'm going to try to zoom it in a little bit for you. No, keep it there. You can actually zoom it in on your own end as we welcome the angels of peace, the Malachei Hasharet. I don't mean this in any supernatural sense this week. These are the natural and ordinary beings that help us communicate the nervous system within the body, the power of language and music and song between bodies, and And like Reb Zalman mentioned in his conversation with the Dalai Lama, the fact that nations each have their own Malachei Asharet. There are national angels, angels for the body politic, for groups of people that really should be able to come together. We need to visualize and actualize coming together for shleimut, for wholeness in our bodies, hearts, minds, souls, communities, for the sake of the total. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So in the spirit of gathering and joining, I want to try something which in Zoom are called breakout rooms. This is going to be a chance to actually, for me to take a pause and see who's here in the room, but also for each of you to be randomly assigned. You're going to be assigned to 3 other people. So we're all going to break out into other rooms for about 5 minutes. I'm going to do some rooms will have 4 or 5 participants per room. We actually have over 42 participants, and that's actually just calls coming in. So some of those are, I see there at least one group of 5 there. This is an opportunity to greet each other, maybe just to share a word of where you're coming from, a word that really describes the most profound thought, feeling, or sensation that you're experiencing, and a word of intention of like the space you'd like to go into Shabbat, the kind of the garments, this physical or the spiritual or metaphoric garments that you want to dress yourselves in. We'll have about 5 minutes for all of this sharing. So so really choose your words carefully, and if you don't feel like sharing, you can say pass and just be in the presence of our community. Let's try this. I'm gonna open all the rooms now.
What happens on Twitter?
What happens on Twitter? I don't know. I'm gonna go over here and bring this up. Gonna turn the screen sharing off. There we go. I think we have one person who's viewing on Twitter, but maybe that's just the Twitter gods. Yeah.
So now, does our room hear us, or do I need to?
No, I don't think. Well, I don't know what's being broadcast. This is all part of the experiment, which we can watch and find out later.
If you're seeing us on broadcast, this is an opportunity to take a moment either to reflect yourself or to speak to the other people who are in the room with you right now for about 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and sing together.
Right. Yeah, and I guess if you haven't joined a room, that's great. Wow.
Is this our room?
These are people who haven't joined rooms. I see Judy and Tara and Simon and Edward and Sean and Elaine and Pam, and Julia. We can see the breakout rooms. This is so neat. Check out. I'm going to send a message to everyone. 2 more minutes. Maybe to Igalina and to Shuladona.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what time it was when I sent people in there?
Mm-mm. I'm sure people are enjoying connecting. Give it a minute.
Yeah.
And the people who aren't in a room?
They just haven't joined.
Oh, they haven't accepted.
Yeah, once you are put in a breakout room, you can choose or not to accept it. Just want to close. All right, all the rooms are going to close in a minute.
For those who are just joining us, we've made breakout rooms for most of the people who have joined us on Zoom, and they're currently talking about where they are at the moment in the present, and they're about to rejoin us all together.
Hi, Abraham and Miriam and Kathy and Tom and Carol. Jennifer and crew.
Cheryl.
Jonathan. I'm going to keep everyone muted as we come back. And I also, just to give everyone a chance, If you want to use the text function, just to do kind of a roll call, where you're calling in from, you can put your town, city, however you want to express where you're coming from in the chat. I'm going to put a chat in the message so you can find it. It should start blinking at you in the orange. And we're going to get to singing again. I'll make this announcement again too, because I know that Zoom is compressing the audio in a pretty nasty way. If it doesn't sound great, you may have better luck going to twitter.com/Shir Yaakov. I think this is also being broadcast there. All of this is an experiment. Thank you for being in it with us. I'm going to share a slide for the lyrics here. I also need to go over here and switch that out. The second half of this slide says, Higalina, please reveal and spread out a canopy of shalom, your canopy of shalom. So Reb Zalman would talk about how the importance of root metaphors, of ways we can log on to the divine, the beloved as friend, the beloved as shelter, the beloved as peace. See where your access point is, where you're allowed entry, if anywhere. Higali now. Higali, gali, gali, na. Maher Ahuv, quickly, my love, my beloved, the one I love dearly. I'm giving you this advice not out of coercion or of force, but because I love you. This time is coming. Ki v'moed. The time has come doesn't do justice to the words. This time, we were made for times like these. V'chonenu, to be compassionate, to have compassion upon ourselves and our world and each other. Kimei olam, like the days that have come and the days that are coming, the days that are eternal, but the days that are for the whole world, that we should be awake and alive to everything and each other. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ.
שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, מסרו מיום ליום ישועתו.
ספרו בגויים כבודו, בכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא על כל אלוהים, כי כל אלוהי העמים מלינים באדוני שמיים עשה. מלכו לאדוני משפחות עמים, מלכו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, מלכו לאדוני כבוד שמו, שאו ממך ובוא לחצרותיו. איי 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 This word kavod, kavod va'oz, kavod shemo. Reb Jill translates here as glory, but relates to weightiness and presence, to gravitas, to honoring life. I think times like this where we're being asked to slow down and perhaps become more simple brings up for me the question of how interconnected we are and how many things I take for granted. Maybe just as we sit absorbing our song together, I hope you were singing together, or I hope that the technological conveyance allowed the sound to come through, the vibrations to come through, but if not, to be present just with what is vibrating and alive, to give honor to the presence of life in the varieties of light, in the richness of sensation, even in our fear or worry or anticipatory grief or catastrophizing, noting those as powers of awareness we have. Grateful for the feeling, grateful for our yearning, giving honor, kavod va'oz, power and strength to this life, this breath. So this song I wrote on the darkest day of the year. It was the new moon nearest the winter solstice. Or Zarua Latzadik, light is sown for the ones who have a righteous foundation, whose actions, words, thoughts, and feelings are reliable. Yishrei Lev Simchat, it's lovely to translate that as heart aligned, which I did here. But in the ancient paradigm of the heart, this is not just our feeling world, but also our awareness, our thoughts, the heart mind. And what would it be for that to really be an open channel? Right? If we're kifufim, if we're bent or distorted, it's possible that our thoughts can't reach our feelings can't reach our thoughts, our whole being can't be informed by our body. So even if we're stuck in our houses and stuck in front of computers, I want to invite you to get unstuck in whatever ways will allow more Yishrei Lev, allow us to have more people who are really connected in body, heart, mind, and soul. The problem that Renee and I just had, which was who's going to go for the harmony. Breathing together, sharing a breath. Actually, I want to stop sharing for a second. Never want to stop sharing. I want to stop sharing the screen for a second. And go back here. Take a look at who's here. We have 47 participants, 47 separate windows into life calling in. Hi, Ima.
So good to see you all.
My mom's here. It's nice. I'm just scrolling through to take in your faces.
Everyone can see this view too, and you can kind of give each other a wave and a heart blessing.
Will we do this in the morning too? Not tomorrow. I'm still trying to balance what it feels like to cultivate Shabbat using these digital tools. I'm aiming to finish actually before candlelighting, and I kind of also want to. I could have dinner with my family who have been kicked out of this room for the next hour, but also so that we can also begin to cultivate the sanctuary that are our lives and our homes. I know I spend so much of my week to week online, still trying to balance how to make that work. But so the short answer is no, we're not going to gather online tomorrow. I'm stealing pictures of this beauty we have here right now. And I think I want to give a little teaching now. I shared last week that I received a gift for my ordination from my teacher, Dr. Rabbi Leila Galberner, a mug, an oversized coffee cup that said, "Keep calm and Rabbi on." I have it here. And let me see if I can do this without spilling it all over my electronics. And I use this as my Nagelwasser, my morning ritual for when I wake up for washing my hands. And maybe this is a totally new notion to you, so I wanted to share, if I can, a little teaching on this. So in this week's Parsha, Parshat Ki Tisa, which is actually my birth Parsha, we have this line, V'daber Hashem el Moshe lemor, ve'asita kior nechoshet v'chano nechoshet lerachza. Make a copper laver and a stand of copper for it. I'm going to bring out my annotation tool again, see if that works. And place it between the tent of meeting and the altar. Put water in it, and let Aharon and his sons wash their hands and feet in water drawn from it. When they enter the tent of meeting, they shall wash with water, that they may not die. Or when they approach the altar to serve, to turn into smoke an offering of fire to the Eternal, they shall wash their hands and feet, and that they may not die. It should be a law for all time for them, for him and his offspring throughout the ages. So pretty amazing that all of this news about importance of hand washing is also in the Parsha this week. And the commentators pick up on this seeming redundancy of et yedehem ve'et raglehem. Why couldn't it say et yedehem ve'raglehem? They wash their hands and their feet. Here it's saying they wash their hands and they wash their feet. So Rashi brings us to the Gemara, which says the priest washed his hands and feet simultaneously. So the sages went back in mind, creatively understanding this verse and saying, what does it mean to wash your hands and feet at the same time? According to one opinion, the priest lays his right hand on top of his right foot and his left hand on top of his left foot, washing them both at the same time, pouring water over this half at once and this half the other. But Rabbi Yossi, son of Yehuda, says he lays both hands, one on top of the other, and lays them on top of both of his feet and washes them at the same time. I'm surprised I didn't hurt myself just demonstrating that, because the Gemara goes on to argue, say, no way, you're making that way too difficult for us. It's not possible that this is really what they intended. But the image there is of unification, is of coming together, of bringing the upper and lower, the left and the right into harmony, which I think is a really beautiful thing to intend. If we're going into divine service, we're going into our day. How do we bring the left and the right together? How do we bring the above and below together? How do we find center? In the Midrash in Bamidbar Rabbah, they teach that there is no mayim kedoshim ela shenit kadshu bakli, that holy water is only made holy by putting in a vessel, and that's what the water of the laver was. And why was it water from the laver? Because the laver was made from the mirrors of the women, as it is written. He made the laver copper from the mirrors of the women who served at the tent, the entrance of the meeting. This is a verse from next week's Parsha. But the copper, where did that copper come from in terms of the donations to make the sanctuary? Elip Gudei Mishkan, These are the accounts, the offerings people brought, the Israelites bringing gold, silver, fine linen of all sorts of colors. Where did the bronze come from? So the Midrash comes and tells us an amazing story. You find that while the Israelites were making bricks in Egypt, Pharaoh decreed they were not to sleep at home so that they would not have intercourse with their wives. Rabbi Shimon, the son of Chalafta, said, what did the women do? They would go to the Nile and draw water, and the Holy One, blessed be God, would fill the jugs with little fishes. As we learn in the Gemara, little fishes arouse desire. They would sell some of the fishes, cook and prepare some of the other fishes, and buy some wines with the proceed of the sale, and then bring these goodies to their husbands in the fields. As it says, in all manner of service in the field. We know about going, let's go out to the field to bring in this divine harmony of masculine and feminine from the Song of Songs and Lechadodi. While the men were eating and drinking, the women would take out the mirrors and glance into them. Notlin hamarot v'mabitot behen. They would say, I am more attractive to you, taunting their husbands. And the men would say, I'm more attractive than you. And in that way, they would arouse their desires and become fruitful and multiply. The Holy Blessed One caused them to conceive on the spot, which I think has something to do with the one-armed handstands, which are happening off camera and you may be able to hear. But finding that balance, finding that fertility from the left and the right, from the masculine and feminine, from the up and down, as it flows dynamically in our lives. So later in this development comes this notion of washing our hands before we serve in the day-to-day of our lives. So the Torah, the Orach Chaim, a later halachic code, says that a person should wash their hands clean and say the blessing, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim. This netilah is actually the raising of the water to pour it over your hands 3 times.
Why'd you pour it on the floor?
I'm not trying to. I'm pouring it into a bowl. It does sound like I'm pouring it into the floor.
There's water there.
Do you want to go get me a towel? Thank you.
Daddy?
Multitasking. Now I can't touch the computer. Will you go get me a towel, please?
Daddy?
Thank you. Hold on one second. Yeah?
We made cookies.
You made cookies? Well, now my hands are clean and I can eat the cookies. One should be exacting in pouring over the hands 3 times on account of the ruach ra'ah lighting upon the hands prior to washing, which is not vitiated until one has poured water over them 3 times. So here's a bit of magical thinking, but also connected with the idea that, as is written in the 1300s at this point, one needs to refrain from touching his hand prior to washing, to the mouth, to the nose, the eyes, and the ears, on account of the ruach ra'ah. Thank you, kiddo. But if one has no water, one should wipe their hands with a stone or chip of any type and say the blessing, Am Nikiyat Apayim. What's really interesting here is the idea, first, the bracha over this is not nikiyat, is not cleaning, but nitilat, lifting up, raising, elevating our consciousness to what our hands are, which is the same language from the Midrash that the women would lift up their mirrors and glance into this reflective relationship. What is it we're being given the opportunity to do with this wild and precious life? I want to share one other piece, which is a Kabbalistic approach to the washing of the 10 fingers and 10 toes, as an allusion to the 10 emanations which enable the physical universe to be created out of the totally abstract domain. When a person raises their hand above their head, they raise 10 fingers, alluding to the 10 sefirot. By standing on the ground with 10 toes, a person demonstrates their beginning and end, or in parlance, top to bottom, is a reminder of all these 10 emanations. So even in the most physical, we can still connect with the most abstract and most ethereal, but we're still trying to bring our hands to our feet, so to speak, or our hands together in a unification of this not two-ness of our bodies. As it is found, Esa chapai el mitzvotecha asher ahavti, I will raise my hands towards your mitzvot, which I love. Ve'asicha bechukecha, and I will be in conversation with the divine laws as I say that I saw a squirrel jump onto the side of a trunk of a tree and run up, and the wind is blowing the branches. How do we lift our hands, lift our agency towards that which we love? It's a good meditation for this Shabbat. Let's sing some more after I wipe the water off of the iPad. Do you have something you want to sing for that?
What did we do last week?
Don't recall.
Solstices?
Sounds good. So again, all of this is coded in really heteronormative, masculine, feminine. Shabbat is bride, Israel, or God is king, and us as queen. Or if those such heavily gendered encodings don't work for you, you really, I am still looking, and I'm inviting you to find how to find this inner balance between knowing and unknowing, between doing and being, between left and right, between up and down. And as we sing these, try to find the dibor echad, the way we can say it's all one. What do you want to sing?
Anything.
You should start it. Whatever starts in B minor, you can sing it. וחדותי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה שמעו וזכור בניבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו תפארת ולתהילה לך דודי נקרא כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי נקרא כלה בני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי אם לכל הברכה מראש מקדם בשמחה סוף מעשה במחשבה תפילה לך דודי נקרא כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי נקרא כלה בני שבת נקבלה. Rav Lach Shevet Le'emek Habacha, you've sat long enough in the valley of tears, or perhaps Rav Lach, it's enough for the tears to be your teacher, and whatever fear or loss might be coming up. You have shoulders to cry on and cry with, circle of compassion. Rav We So this is really the Torah we're going to need to learn. We love ourselves, because we might be going into a period of reduced contact, reduced movement, certainly reduced certainty. And our hands need to be the ones that embrace, touch, soothe, and counsel ourselves to the extent that that's possible. So I want to invite you to try the ritual washing, to initiate the non-ritual washing that we're going to be doing a lot of over the next few days. I've spoken with Dr. Dave Nydorf, who's an emergency room doctor here in Ulster County and a board member. And really, like probably a lot of the advice he's been reading, what we're trying to do is flatten out that curve, slow down the spread of this virus by taking really good care of ourselves, starting with ourselves and those immediately around us. So I have ones immediately around us. We're off camera. But I want you to know that we want to really stay connected and see how to build community at this time. So please be in touch by emailing hello@kolchai or chesedcircle@gmail.com to ask for what you need. I think I'll be offering classes and schmoozes and one-on-ones if need be. Do not isolate beyond what you need to do. I mean, we're trying to keep our bodies out of public spaces, but we can share our voices, share our concerns, our prayers, our music. As this space continues to be an experiment, please let us know what worked, what didn't, what you want more of. Share anything? Anything to say?
Just feeling all of us connected in a web of compassion, love, togetherness, and brother sisterhood. And how beautiful it is when we gather in this way. And we'll see you again really soon.
I'm going to share some more music as you unplug and maybe go light some Shabbos candles. Ay, ay.